doctor calls the UFC, goes, where did you get this guy? The tendons in his eyes are 3 times larger than a normal person's. Like, he's just a athletic freak.
I've had so many massage therapists, people that work on Yoel, have worked with me, and could feel all his fucking injection points all over his arms and his legs.
Because he truly is the most dense guy I've ever worked out with.
That's what Luke Rockhold said. He was like, he was made out of metal.
Bro, it's not a fucking lie.
From the sweat-soaked wrestling mats of Cuba to the bright lights of the UFC octagon, from fleeing his homeland in search of freedom to standing in court victorious with $27 million in his name cleared, Yoel Romero's journey is not just a fight career, it's a saga. Feared by opponents, misunderstood by critics, revered by fans, a man of faith, fury, and freakish power who defied time and expectation well into his 40s.
He still looks fucking great.
At 205.
It's incredible. I mean, what an extraordinary human being.
But before we delve into the legend, if you live for stories of sacrifice, redemption, and raw human grit, hit that like button and subscribe. Now, let's step into the world of Yoel Romero. Born on April 30th, 1977 in Pinar del Rio, Cuba, Yoel Romero was raised among fighters, including his brother, future boxing champ Joan Pablo Hernandez.
My city, Pinar del Rio. Everybody know my family.
Though he dreamed of boxing, his father steered him toward wrestling.
How did you choose wrestling? Was that just something that you loved?
In the beginning, I want to make it boxing. My dad said, no, it's too much punches in the face. It's not good.
6 years old, he was boxing and he would hide it from his dad.
When did wrestling take over?
There's a lot of trainers in the pyramid. They go to the schools to look for talent and they do tryouts. They go, they evaluate you, and then they decide what's best for you.
By his teens, Romero's talent earned him a spot on Cuba's national team, where he developed the explosive style that would define the soldier of God.
He went to school from Monday to Fridays at a pyramid, and you just wrestled.
A pyramid meaning?
It's a pyramid school. It starts at about 7 years old. All the sports in Cuba start that way.
Romero's relentless work ethic in the gym turned him into one of Cuba's greatest wrestlers.
What made him is that Cuban program.
Yeah.
They turn you into a machine.
Yeah, and that's all you got over there. It's either that or be like everybody else, broke and in misery, you know?
Yep. I mean, that's how they make people the way they are.
Stay with the 10 guys for 15 years. 10 guys, I want to kill you. You can't.
That's pressure.
Yeah.
In 1999, he became world champion by defeating Olympic gold medalist Kadzimurad Magomedov, cementing his status as the best at 85 kilograms. At the 2000 Sydney Olympics, he claimed silver after a close loss to Adam Saidiev and placed 4th in Athens 2004. By the mid-2000s, he was a national hero and 5-time Pan American champion. But in 2006, his rise was halted when the Cuban Wrestling Federation accused him of throwing a match and suspended him. This controversy marked a turning point in Romero's career. After his suspension, Romero traveled to Germany for a 2007 tournament and won. But instead of returning to Cuba, he stayed, seeking freedom and a new life.
You always have spies watching you.
For 15 years.
When did you leave?
2007.
Leaving family behind was tough, but Romero said God gave him peace in the decision.
When you born, you think like this. I born here, I'm dead here. When you grow and now you see the life, you need to push your life.
So he wanted to get into MMA, so when he went to Germany, he stayed.
In Germany, he joined the Ringer Bundesliga, coached in Nuremberg, learned German, and met his future wife. Still driven by competition, Romero soon turned his sights to a new battleground: mixed martial arts. Before we get into how Yoel Romero went from Olympic icon to a $27 million steroid scandal, here's how I protect myself from scandals online: private internet access. In MMA, one wrong move can cost you everything. Same goes for your online life. A while back, I was traveling and couldn't watch a UFC fight night because of geo restrictions. That's when I started using private internet access, and I haven't looked back since. With PIA, I just switch my location and boom, full access to fights on ESPN Plus even when I'm abroad. You can even watch regional events or shows like Kingdom that aren't available in your country. Private internet access hides your IP address, encrypts your connection, and shields your data from hackers, nosy ISPs, and even government censors. And unlike other VPNs, they don't log anything. That's been proven in court and verified by a Deloitte audit. One subscription covers unlimited devices, so you can protect your whole team. And with 24/7 support and a 30-day money-back guarantee, PIA is your cornerman in the online fight. By using my link in the description, you get 83% off, just $2.03 a month, plus 4 extra months free. Stay safe, stream more, and take control of your digital life with private internet access.
What did you think you were going to do, though? Did you think you were going to fight MMA back then? Because there wasn't...
I want to try it. I want to do this.
Even though he wrestled, he wanted the MMA.
Under coaches Sergey Kuftin and Zika Simic in Germany, Romero transitioned into MMA.
He was telling me last night that he would watch those videos. People would smuggle UFC fights into Cuba. It wasn't known. It wasn't going to happen for him in Cuba. It was never going to happen for him.
Right.
In December 2009, at 32, he debuted with a brutal first-round KO of Sasha Weinpolter. Over the next 2 years, he went 5-0 in regional promotions, quickly building a reputation for knockout power.
And they wouldn't let him fight amateur because he was in the Olympics.
Right.
So they threw him right into the wolves. Like his first fight, he didn't even train.
You had no training? Just your wrestling?
Wrestling.
But you knew how to box a little from being a kid.
But you know, in Cuba it's normal. You have a gloves, the people say, okay, boxing.
Right.
Bing, bang, a little bit in the street, you know.
Right, just fucking around.
Yeah.
In 2011, Romero signed with Strikeforce and faced ex-champ Rafael Cavalcante.
So you signed with Strikeforce,
Yeah.
and then how do you get to the United States?
Strikeforce want to you, but you need to fight Rafael Fayao. So you win, you go to the belt and fight Henderson.
He suffered his first pro loss via a second-round KO.
And so that was your first fight in Strikeforce.
Yeah.
You lost that fight.
Yeah.
And that was your first loss as a fighter. Like, what was that like?
Normal, because
Yeah.
When he finished the fight, he said he went up to the hotel room and he went for a walk. His managers were looking at him. He was smiling. His manager's like, why are you smiling? That he was this close from beating a grand champion, you know,
sin entrenar.
without training. Now he saw a positive. He said,
Yo
if I
dije-
train, when he trains for real, he'll be the fucking champion.
That's how a champion thinks.
Yeah.
And then he suffered a serious neck injury that sidelined him for nearly 2 years.
Yoel Romero got his neck fucked up in Cuba, and they just fused the whole thing. So his neck is like, so when he runs, look at him run.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So his neck doesn't move.
No mobility at all.
Zero mobility. There's no movement. So the movement is all absorbed in the lower spine, and obviously has giant traps.
When I have the injury in my neck, the doctor say your career is done. Thank God I'm still training. I'm still competing. I'm still can move my body, and still walk. Because I broken the C4.
Yeah.
It's a very, very dangerous. And the doctor say, thank God, die.
When the UFC absorbed Strikeforce in 2013, Romero was among the fighters brought over. At 36, Romero joined the UFC and dropped to middleweight. His 2013 debut was explosive. He knocked out Clifford Starks with a flying knee in round 1, earning knockout of the night.
His debut UFC, he gets a flying knockout. He's with me and my trainer, Paulino Hernandez. He's like, hey man, I want to learn the flying knee, So we showed it to him, like, I'm not lying, 2 weeks and like 5 days before his fight. We showed him a quick little setup for it, and in his first UFC fight, does it. He literally, I saw it with my own eyes. He learned this technique 2 fucking weeks before.
He followed up with another KO over Ronnie Marks, quickly establishing himself as a rising force.
I mean, it's really kind of incredible that you get him essentially at your age, just making his debut. It's wild.
You can see from fight to fight just how much he's evolving.
January 2014, Romero faced Derek Brunson. After 2 tough rounds, he stormed back in the third for a TKO win and Fight of the Night honors. A dominant decision over Brad Tavares soon followed, pushing Romero to 4-0 in the UFC and setting the stage for greater battles to come. At UFC 178 in 2014, Romero faced Tim Kennedy in what became one of the UFC's most controversial bouts.
It's the dirtiest trick in the book. Literally the dirtiest trick in the book.
Why'd you leave UFC? When my heart got broken in the fight with Yoel Romero.
After nearly being finished at the end of round 2, Romero remained on his stool for an extra 30 seconds before round 3, sparking the infamous stoolgate. The delay, caused by excess Vaseline and confusion in his corner, gave Romero time to recover. When the round resumed, he stormed out and TKO'd Kennedy.
But I saw the guys from the commission, they were right in front of you. He was screaming, get the hell out of here. I don't care what language you speak. You know what get the hell out of here means. You know what time you're supposed to be out of the octagon. You know how much time you had.
The Athletic Commission rules are very matter of fact. You have 10 seconds to answer the bell, and as you can imagine, I'm a man that would know the rules. So 10 seconds passes, and that's the end of the fight.
It was the UFC cut man's fault because he left a giant glob of Vaseline on Yoel's eye. He didn't want to touch it because he felt like if he touched it, it could open the cut up again.
I'm screaming. I take my mouthpiece out. I chuck across the floor. I point at Dana White. I was like, you're fucking gonna pay me for that fight. 10 seconds happens. 15 seconds happens. 20 seconds happen.
Tim Kennedy's standing up. And he's like, what is going on here? He thinks maybe the fight's over, and you're still sitting down. He wanted the fight to be over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And John McCarthy's like, hey, come back in, we're fighting. We were fighting. They call it stoolgate. The corner spilled some ice. They put on too much Vaseline. They're pretending like they couldn't speak English. Ultimately, they were able to buy him an extra 40-something seconds.
You only get 1 minute rest, but you took 1 minute and 30 seconds. That extra 30 seconds had to help.
Yeah.
Romero's corner is purposely slowly walking out. They still have the stool in there. What are they doing? He's still sitting on the stool. This is ridiculous. Why isn't he standing up? But what they're doing is they saved him some time.
While I'm leaving the cage mentally, he's with the sole focus of getting back into the fight. A huge adrenaline dump, and I get knocked out a few seconds later.
Body by Kennedy. Oh! And that's what we're talking about. And Romero's on top of him. Another shot. It is all over. He's out. And they're going to be talking about this one for a while.
Though Kennedy protested and fans questioned the legitimacy, the win stood, pushing Romero to 5-0 in the UFC, his reputation rising amid growing controversy.
Dang. What the f***? Hey, if you can't get off the stool, that's the end of the fight. You don't stand there for another minute.
Romero's faith has always been front and center. He's called El Soldado de Dios, the soldier of God, and often credits God in victory.
That's the most important is God.
After defeating Lyoto Machida with brutal elbows in June 2015, Romero delivered a post-fight speech that sparked controversy. Speaking in broken English, he said, "What happened to you, USA? You forget Jesus."
Hey, Florida! Listen, people, listen! What happened to you, USA? What happened to you? Wake up, USA! Go for Jesus! Don't forget Jesus, people!
The last line of his speech was hard to understand. Many thought he said, "Go for Jesus," not for gay Jesus, which paired with the recent U.S. Supreme Court ruling on same-sex marriage triggered backlash online. Romero later clarified, "I'm a man of God. God is love. Who am I to judge anybody?" and stressed he meant only to inspire faith. UFC and fans largely accepted his explanation, and "No Forget Jesus" became part of his legend. Controversial, yes, but also a symbol of his unfiltered passion. In early 2016, just as Romero was closing in on a title shot, news broke that he had failed a USADA drug test. A December 2015 sample revealed ibutamoren in his system, a banned substance often linked to growth hormone use. It was a devastating blow. Romero had just beaten Ronaldo Jacare Souza at UFC 194, extending his UFC streak to 7-0. Now he faced a 2-year suspension and the harsh stigma of being labeled a cheater.
Yoel Romero has just tested positive. Call it what you will, he's out.
Okay. You're telling me that you don't believe that Yoel Romero ever took a steroid in his life?
I think it's possible. It's totally possible.
How's that fence you're sitting on? Anytime somebody says it was a tainted supplement, it's bullshit, okay? Some other guys, they blow up the lab, you know?
But Romero firmly denied knowingly taking any PEDs.
A very interesting time for you after the fight. You get a big win over Jacare. This news comes out that you've been provisionally suspended, and everyone under the sun is calling you a cheater, a liar, all this stuff. Everyone's piling it on you.
And his drug test came back that supposedly he popped for something. He was totally caught off guard, and he was shocked, right? He was like, "Hey, look, I didn't do this."
Well, here's the thing about a guy like you.
You know how much you need to pay for the steroids?
Right.
Come on, man.
They don't have the money.
Come on, man.
Right.
The people don't have.
They don't have anything.
His team quickly traced the source to a supplement called Shred RX, which he'd used during training. The product contained the banned ingredient, but didn't list it on the label. USADA tested a sealed bottle and confirmed the contamination.
He maintained his innocence the whole time. He provided them the supplements that he took. And there was one specific supplement he took after the fight. And he said, "This is the supplement that I took. When you read the label, there's nothing in there. It's a natural supplement. It's supposed to be as clean as possible. It's something that anybody could have taken. And if everything that on the label would have been in there, we never would even be here." It ended up being that this particular supplement was contaminated with the product that he failed for. USADA went ahead and did their own independent research of this product, and they came back and they found out that there's a contamination problem with this particular supplement.
In a rare decision, they accepted Romero's explanation and offered a settlement, a reduced 6-month suspension instead of the standard 2 years. Since the test was taken out of competition, his previous win was preserved and his record remained intact. Even so, the public scrutiny was relentless. Online, fans mocked him with names like "Soldier of Steroids." Romero later said it deeply affected him. "You cannot sleep very well. It's very emotional and important because I know I've never taken anything in my life."
The greatest struggle that he had was not on his athleticism or maintaining his athleticism, but how to control his emotions with everything that happened.
So were you depressed? Were you sad?
He wasn't depressed, but he was sad and extremely angry. He doesn't lie. He's never used steroids, will never use steroids. And sad because he was arguing with God that if he knows that he's clean, why was he allowing this to happen? But God answers all his questions.
I think his biggest goal with this interview was just to kind of let people know, hey, I didn't cheat. I didn't take any PEDs. I definitely didn't do anything wrong.
For 30 years, I do a sport, you know. I never take it something like this. I never take it in my life. I don't need it.
He wasn't just fighting to compete again. He wanted to clear his name completely. In 2019, Romero took the battle to court. He sued Gold Star Performance, the company behind the tainted supplement, and when they failed to respond, a New Jersey court awarded him $27.45 million in damages.
This is going to be a prank, is what I'm thinking at first. I'm like, There's no way the soldier of steroids has got $27.5 million.
And for him to be awarded that much money, my assumption is they had some real hard evidence that he was fucked.
The claim comes into $3 million for loss of earnings, $3 million, I think, for defamation of character.
The other $3 million, to bring it up to 9 total, was for emotional damages. So I think that's where you guys fall in.
And then in the state of New Jersey, so they tripled it. Obviously, 3 nines is 27, and that's how they came to the number. I mean, so my God, I mean, $27 million. I mean, it's incredible. Whichever way you slice it, that man is a rich man.
Never has to fight again.
A day again in his life. Congratulations. If you're listening to this, well done. There must be a God. That's all I've got to say on this.
Though it's unlikely he'll ever receive the full amount, Romero felt vindicated. It's not about the money, he told ESPN. It's about proving I'm clean.
That lawsuit, $27 million, we were wondering if we were going to see you back with a big judgment like that. Have you seen any of that money yet?
No. That's the first question what the judge asked me. Say me, what is the next plan would you have? And you might say, continue my career.
After making all this money, he's going to still fighting. And after fighting, he's going to think, okay, I have all this money.
My focus is continue my career.
Fresh off his suspension, Romero returned with something to prove. At UFC 205 in New York, one of the biggest events in UFC history, he faced former champ Chris Weidman and delivered a moment that echoed through Madison Square Garden. Early in round 3, Romero launched a devastating flying knee that crushed Weidman's skull.
His flying knee knockout of Chris Weidman is also one of the greatest of all time.
His cat-likeness, how he landed and everything.
Oh my God. He was extraordinary. I mean, he's just a freak. And the style that he had, just like so loose and relaxed, boom, and then out of nowhere, levels.
The knockout earned performance of the night and extended Romero's UFC streak to 8-0, making him the clear title contender. Cageside was reigning champion Michael Bisping, who had mocked Romero's failed drug test in past interviews. With blood still on his hands and adrenaline high, Romero pointed at Bisping and growled into the mic. Said in his thick Cuban accent, it came out as, "I love you, Mike. See you soon, boy." A mix of threat and charm that instantly became one of the most iconic call-outs in UFC history.
I love you, man. You say something like this for me, and now I say you. I love you. See you soon, boy. You know me, boy. You know me.
Bisping, never one to back down, flipped him the bird and mimed injecting a needle, fueling the feud by referencing Romero's steroid scandal. What followed was a year of trash talk and taunts. Bisping ripped a Cuban flag on camera. Romero vowed to humble him. Fans loved every second.
Hey, I love you, man. Let's fight right now. I'm a king, man. Hey, man, I love you.
Well, he's very short.
Wow.
Hey, Michael Bisping, you say you want to see me in Cuba? I go to Cuba tomorrow. I want to see you in Cuba, all right? Mike, you continue training? Please continue training because I want to see your son. I want to see your son. You know, I love you.
He loves you! What is this, fancy dress, Yoel? I can't take you serious when you look like some kind of 70s pimp. Come on, Yoel, I love you too, baby. I don't need to train for you.
I tell you, I hate you. I wait for you, motherfucker. You say the Mary Day, you come in Cuba. but you never coming. So you want it? I go London, Manchester, wherever you want. I want to see you face in the octagon. Soldier of God, the people child. You need respect for my country. That is Cuba, man. Hey, Dana, give me the fucking boy. You need respect for these people. You need respect, Cuba. You need respect, Cuba. I see you. I see you. All right, man? You say you coming here, but you never coming. You scared. You scared about me.
But despite all the heat, the fight never happened. Bisping dealt with injuries, then lost the title to Georges St-Pierre, ending any real chance of the showdown. Even so, their rivalry remains legendary, not for punches thrown, but for the moments they gave fans. With Bisping out of the picture, Romero's title path led to Australia's Robert Whittaker. At UFC 213 in July 2017, the two met for the interim middleweight belt. It was a high-stakes clash of generations, 26-year-old Whittaker's speed and sharp striking versus 40-year-old Romero's power and experience. Early on, Romero's kicks and takedowns found success, even injuring Whittaker's knee.
You know, and Whittaker, you got to remember, had his knee blown out in the first round. He got his knee hyperextended, tore his MCL pretty badly in the first round, and still was able to stuff takedowns on arguably the best wrestler who's ever fought in MMA.
Yeah. But the Aussie adjusted, chopping away with jabs and leg kicks. After 5 grueling rounds, Whittaker won by unanimous decision, Romero's first UFC loss. Still, both men left battered and respected. "He's so tough," Whittaker said later, praising Romero's relentless pressure.
I think if you fight a 5-round war with Yoel Romero, you deserve a medal of your own. He's one of the most dangerous people on the planet. No one wants to fight him, and for good reason.
Because like when I was punching and kicking him, he felt like metal, like a dude made out of concrete. It was ridiculous.
It was a fight of the night, and a rivalry was born.
You said that in the Robert Whittaker fight, that was a learning experience for you, because you went 5 rounds, came very close to winning the interim title, but came short.
He didn't take that loss as serious as he should have.
In February 2018, Romero was given another shot, this time against Luke Rockhold at UFC 221 for the interim belt. But trouble struck at the scales. Romero missed weight, first at 188.3 pounds and again at 187.7, disqualifying him from winning the title. Despite the setback, he delivered a devastating knockout in round 3, finishing Rockhold with a crushing left hand and uppercut. Then, in a surreal show of respect, Romero cupped Rockhold's face and said, "I love you." Then came the rematch with Whittaker at UFC 225. Once again, Romero missed weight, this time by just 0.2 pounds, making the fight another non-title bout. But the performance was legendary. Whittaker started strong, but Romero stormed back, dropping him and breaking his nose. Both fighters were injured. Whittaker broke his hand, Romero shattered his orbital bone. After 5 incredible rounds, Whittaker edged a narrow split decision. Though the belt slipped away, he had won the crowd, and cemented his legacy as one of the most dangerous fighters to never hold UFC gold.
They brought him to Australia, and he had a fractured orbital, and they brought him to the doctor, so he gets examined, and then the doctor calls the UFC, goes, "Where did you get this guy?" And they go, "What do you mean?" And they go, "He's a fucking specimen." And he goes, "Oh yeah, he's amazing, right?" And they go, No, you don't understand." He goes, "I've been a doctor for 50 years. I've never seen someone like him." He said the tendons in his eyes are 3 times larger than a normal person's. He said the orbital fracture, it's already healing. Like, he's just a athletic freak, the rarest of the rare.
After the Whittaker Wars, Romero took time to recover. In 2019, he returned to face undefeated Paulo Costa.
"I will make him cry. I will hit him very badly, and he will cry like a baby."
A younger, explosive powerhouse. After delays and trash talk, they finally met at UFC 241 in a wild slugfest. Costa took round 1, Romero stormed back in the second, and both emptied the tank in the third. The judges gave it to Costa, but many thought Romero had edged it. Dana White called it one of the greatest fights you'll ever see. At 42, Romero had once again stolen the show. Despite the loss, Romero got another title shot, this time against champion Israel Adesanya. Adesanya specifically requested the fight, and Romero admired the courage.
Believe me, I don't think about it my way now. Never in my life I have a problem with my weight.
That's a lie. That's a fucking lie.
No, bro.
Straight up, you've missed weight like 3 or 4 times. How is that true? You've missed weight already. From missing weight to stoolgate.
Mr. Isa.
No, he's okay, he's okay. You feel me? You guys scared me.
But at UFC 248, the fight didn't deliver. Romero stood still for nearly a minute to open round 1, daring Adesanya to engage. The champ stayed cautious, attacking Romero's legs and avoiding danger. After 5 slow rounds, Adesanya won a decision. Fans booed. Romero, furious, claimed victory. The people paid to see a fight, not a runner. Go watch Usain Bolt.
The people pay pay-per-view for really fight. Not for this, no running. So you want to see running, go to see the Usain Bolt.
Adesanya blamed Romero's passivity, and the debate split the MMA world.
He plays the game in lulls. He'll do all this to kind of like get you into a false sense of security.
What was clear? Romero had now gone 0-3 in UFC title fights. All close, all frustrating. At 43, his path to gold had likely closed, but the Soldier of God wasn't done yet. In December 2020, to the surprise of many, Yoel Romero was released from the UFC. Though 4 of his last 5 fights had been losses, they were all against elite opponents. Romero admitted he was shocked at first, but quickly accepted it as part of God's plan.
Why did you get released from the UFC to the best of your knowledge?
First and foremost, it was something that was completely unexpected.
UFC President Dana White cited Romero's age and recent performance as primary factors, stating, "Yoel has lost 4 out of his last 5. He's 44 years old, and our roster is very inflated right now." Just weeks later, Romero signed with Bellator MMA and announced a move up to light heavyweight. At 44, his confidence never wavered.
I feel great. It's a fantastic moment for me, for my career.
He's fighting in Bellator now, right? He still looks fucking great.
At 205.
It's incredible. I mean, what an extraordinary human being.
He was set to debut in Bellator's Grand Prix tournament, but an eye issue delayed his entry. He finally made his debut in September 2021 against Phil Davis, losing a close split decision. Undeterred, Romero returned in 2022 with 2 violent wins. First, a last-second TKO of Alex Polisi, then a brutal knockout of veteran Melvin Manhoef, sending him into retirement. At 45, Romero had fought 3 times that year and looked as dangerous as ever. In 2023, he challenged Vadim Nemkov for the Bellator light heavyweight title. Despite giving his all, Romero was outpointed over 5 rounds. He lost by unanimous decision but pushed the much younger champion to the final bell at age 46. As of 2025, Yoel Romero remains a marvel. His longevity, discipline, and explosiveness continue to impress fans and fighters alike. Joe Rogan once called him the freak of all freaks, and fans often joke that age doesn't apply to Yoel Romero.
Freakiest of the freaks, in terms of like athletic freaks, just extraordinary athletic freaks.
Everybody that I've trained with, I've never felt someone denser, because he truly is the most dense guy I've ever worked out with.
That's what Luke Rockhold said. He was like he was made out of metal.
Bro, it's not a fucking lie.
There's the years of training in that crazy Cuba Olympic program. There's phenomenal genetics.
Yeah.
There's experience in competing. There's so much going on there with that guy.
Layers and layers and layers of the highest level of competition.
Nearing 50, he still carries the aura of a man who refuses to slow down. Yoel Romero's life reads like a Hollywood script. A poor kid from Cuba who became an Olympic medalist, defected for freedom, and transformed into one of MMA's most feared fighters. His career has everything: jaw-dropping knockouts, fierce rivalries, controversy, and faith. He's defeated legends like Machida, Weidman, and Rockhold, and fallen just short in razor-thin losses. Through it all, Romero has stayed true to himself. A physically terrifying but deeply humble man who can knock you out cold, then whisper, "I love you," in the aftermath. In the MMA world, Romero is seen with equal parts awe and affection. Fighters praise his work ethic. Fans adore his strange charm. He's often named among the greatest to never win UFC gold.
One of the best athletes that's ever competed in the UFC, with a fused neck.
But his legacy goes far beyond belts. Outside the cage, Romero is a devoted father, a man of faith, and a soft-spoken figure who contrasts completely with his violent in-ring persona. Now based in Miami, he often speaks of reuniting his family from Cuba and credits God for his journey. Those who know him personally describe him as kind, humble, and even a bit goofy. From dusty wrestling mats in Cuba to packed stadiums around the world, Yoel Romero's story is one of resilience, faith, and the pursuit of greatness. Nearing 48, he's still fighting, still chasing glory, and still defying time itself. Title or not, Yoel Romero has already secured something greater: immortality in the eyes of fans. His saga is still unfolding, and we can only watch in awe as the Soldier of God writes his final chapters. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more fight history deep dives. And if you're into stories like this, don't miss our breakdown of the rise and fall of Bob Sapp, another wild ride through combat sports chaos.
Everything is possible in your life when you believe. When you believe, everything is possible. You have 2 hands. Go. And take it whatever way you want to do.